Good afternoon, good evening. Um, Violence wins again. Hmm? Violence wins over common sense and over reality. Fear wins again. Fear put everybody in this position with COVID, and fear put the jury in the position they are with this Chauvin mess. Absolutely asinine. That is all I can say about today. Asinine. Asinine. But it lends to reason. I'll tell you why. People who have been saying that someone died with COVID and the people who are saying someone died because of COVID are people that are diametrically opposed to each other. Just like you could see them saying if a person is decapitated with COVID, there's a COVID death. It's the same way these morons will say that the knee in the back is what killed somebody who was high and had heart issues. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. You know you have a heart condition. Hi, Tom. And you're high. That tells me you don't care about yourself, bro. And then you're mixing two heavy-duty drugs. You mix two drugs. Incoherent. You're stronger than an ox. 4 men can't pull you out of a single car without really going at it. That don't mean nothing. That's not proof that you are a threat at all. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that crap. Because I swear if I even approach that, it's a reason why I didn't tackle it. Because it makes zero sense to me. Literally no sense. Wow. So you have, before they were sequestered, Maxine, Mad Maxine, saying if they don't get what they want, they threatened unrest. Before they were sequestered. Jurors now are going into deliberations under threat. And you expect them to make a reasonable decision. Okay. No protections put in place for them. None. They're already threatened by actions. Then they get verbal threats from a congresswoman. And then the buffoon in charge is saying about the right decision, the right outcome. Yeah, that's going to give you a really fair assessment of the situation, ain't it? Yeah. You're talking about people being doxxed, threatened, harassed if they give the wrong outcome. In other words, give me what I want and you won't be in any trouble. I won't come after you. I won't threaten your family. I won't burn your house to the ground if you just give me what I want. Intimidation is now okay. But it is par for the course, considering that it's what they used COVID to do. Fear tactic, fear tactics. Case in point, Canada, specifically Ontario. And if you don't believe that this is coming here, it's already in Michigan, the light version. I want you to hear what exactly you can and can't do. Wow. I want you to hear what you can and can't do in Canada. This is amazing. Amazing. So, sorry to hear that, Jenny. I want you to listen to this exact. Just listen.
First day of new pandemic-related regulations, things are already changing. Hilary Johnstone is in Ottawa with more. So, Hilary, there were new powers given to police officers right across the province. That stirred up a lot of controversy. And now there's indication that they might be reversing back or something might be changing. What are you hearing?
That's right. So what we're hearing is that there is some sort of expectation that these new powers that were just announced about 24 hours ago, that they could be modified. And this is coming from the Ontario Association of the Chiefs of Police. So it's a group that speaks on behalf of police leaders across the province. What that group is saying is that they are in dialogue with the province in order to try and better understand how they were expected to enforce these new powers. And they are now anticipating that those powers that were announced just yesterday, which do give police the right to stop people at random and ask them why they're outside of their home, that those changes, that those new rules are going to be modified. So we're going to bring up a bit of a statement we have now from the association, the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police. It says, the measures announced yesterday will be modified. We are waiting to officially receive what the modifications are so that our chiefs can ensure their officers can continue to serve their communities during these difficult times. So we're still awaiting for anything official from the Ontario government, from Premier Doug Ford on this, but there is some indication, Natasha, that there are going to be some changes made. So just to remind everyone of what those new powers are exactly. So police can stop both pedestrians and motorists. They can ask people to provide their home address and to give a reason for why they're outside the home. If it's determined that people are outside their homes for non-essential reasons, then they can be issued tickets of $750.
Wow.
If they refuse to comply, they can be arrested and they can be charged. So those were the powers that were given to police just yesterday. And of course, all day today, there's just been this growing list of police organizations across the province, from Niagara to Sudbury, Ottawa to Peel and Toronto, saying that they had no intention of randomly stopping people and asking them why they were outside their homes. But there was still a lot of concern that legally, police were allowed to do that. And some groups have expressed a lot of concern, a lot of fear that this was going to disproportionately target certain communities, certain groups of people, possibly. We know that the Canadian Civil Liberties Association came out earlier this afternoon and announced that they planned a court challenge against this. And they've also expressed some of their concern around these powers. Take a listen.
What the government has said today is that police, that being out of your home in and of itself is enough of a reason for police officers to stop and question you. And when you hand over that kind of discretion, we know that some populations face greater scrutiny from police than others, and those same populations are likely to be the ones most directly impacted by this.
I want you to make that make sense. If you're a Democrat, make that make sense. They ask you what you're doing outside, and they don't care enough to take you into quarantine. but they'll fine you. They'll fine you. And if you don't give an answer, they take you to jail, where you're not social distanced. This has nothing to do with illness. Nothing. They don't care whether you live or die from this thing. They don't care. This is power. This is reducing you to nothing more than a talking point, a bulletin board of missing information. They don't care. They really don't care. They're going to issue you a $780 ticket. One, who comes up with that arbitrary cost? Who dictates $700+ to be out while not sick for fear that you might get sick with a virus that has a 98-99% survival rate? Make it make sense. Is it no longer up to people? If you have AIDS and the other person you're talking to knows you have AIDS, and AIDS is a vehicle for killing people, the person you're talking to is okay with you having AIDS, I don't see them stepping in to say, you need to stay away from that person. In fact, they make it a non-crime even if you don't know the person has AIDS. A higher kill rate than COVID. This is nonsense to me, folks, and this is coming here. This is why they're pushing out. Listen to what they're doing. Canada is ahead of the game when it comes to the New World Order. They already went ahead with gun issues forever ago. They have their citizens under lock and key with that. No one's going to fight back like that. Canada is already sissified. Betas run Canada. If you're Canadian, I'm sorry, but betas are ruling Canada. You don't have civil liberties that you can go fight back with. And now they're telling you when you can't be out of your house for whatever they deem essential. If you're not outside for something essential, what in the absolute hell is essential? If I step outside to go shopping and I tell them I need toilet paper, do they consider toilet paper essential? If they decided that toilet paper isn't essential, fine. Instantaneous fine. The same thing that America did with essential workers. I hope you're watching this. If you haven't connected the dots yet, this word essential is big. You're not essential, you are. A mom and pop store that runs groceries and the like, they do not get the same type of exemptions that Walmart, Safeway, Fred Meyer, Costco gets. Because I guarantee you that if Costco were ever in violation, they wouldn't have to pay anything. I guarantee you they're giving kickbacks to the people that are putting all these laws down. Restaurants can't be open, but if you're fancy enough, like one Gavin Newsom goes to, you can stay open. You're going to tell me that celebrities just stayed indoors? They didn't go to any restaurants when it was a complete shutdown and you couldn't even go eat? If you believe that, I got a beachfront house to sell you in Idaho. This is insane. They decide what's essential. They do. Not you, not your family, not your needs. They do. So Canada, if you go outside, and not Canada necessarily in the whole Ontario, if you go outside, they need to know why you're outside. Why are you out of your home? I can arrest you because you're out your home. Don't you know there's a virus out here while we're standing around outside? The cops can patrol all day long outside, but you can't. You can't go out because he's operating under the name of essential. Somehow, as soon as he gets blasted with that term essential, he's immune from COVID. He's immune. This is stupid. People, if you don't stand up, you're going to lose everything. Revolt, for crying out loud. They're stealing your country. They're killing America right now. They're literally looking at free people and telling them, you ain't free enough to do that. Sorry. And we are letting this happen? I am convinced that their job was successfully done in making Americans absolutely wusses. I'm convinced. There are a few people that push back, not enough. Some will push back in secret. They won't do it out loud. So is Canada under this strike? They can't do what they want to do. They can't. And this modification, I guarantee that modification ain't going to mean nothing. It ain't going to mean nothing. But you literally have people dictating what your life should be. And I don't mean life and death. I mean your just day-to-day living. They're telling you what you can do. They literally tell you can't breathe without their permission. Literally tell you this. My prediction is here's what's going to happen. Ontario is going to be the testing ground. And it's going to spread to the rest of Canada. The liberal states in America are going to take suit. The Michigans, the California, the Washington States, New Yorks are going to take suit. Oregon. And because they have a Democrat House, Senate, and presidency, they can petition to make this nationwide. And if they decide to pack the courts, they can make it legit law. And if what Biden is saying about no constitution, no amendments for sure, nothing set in stone, say goodbye to the first and the second. Say goodbye to them. Say goodbye to the 13th and 14th too. Say goodbye to the 5th. I'm not joking. This is exactly where they're taking this. They have taken liberties with your freedom. Then they want to restrict your movement. Canada testing ground for local movement. They will put in place that passport. If they pack the court, that's it. There is literally right now no fail-safe. For the next 3 years, there's no fail-safe on this administration. I want you to understand this. There is nothing keeping this administration back from taking everything that belongs to America. You want to know why China is on the cusp of coming in here? Because they're all over Canada? Because Canada, the beta central of the world, let them in. It's run by a beta. They've already bought out most of South America anyway. They bought out many pieces of land here. And they have all of the dirt on the guy in the Oval Office. The only stopgap between what they want to do and the complete obliteration of America is us. And here we sit. Because we don't want to do what needs to be done. Meanwhile, you have anarchists running the streets. And you got people like that slow version of won't say it, I'll get shut down. You got that molasses bag running her mouth about if I don't get my way, we'll be in unrest in the streets and we will make sure everything goes south. Right? Threaten, intimidate, get your way. 2-year-old tactics. 2-year-old tactics. Two-year-old tactics. And we're buying it and we're letting it happen. Fear is their weapon. If they can make you afraid of what's out there, they win 1. If they can make you afraid of what they can do to you, they win 2. If they can make you afraid of what you will lose if you don't comply, they win 3. They win. This whole idea of civil unrest, passive disobedience is done. We're done. That's not going to get us anywhere, especially if this crap happens over here. I'm going to tell you right now, if that stuff that's happening in Ontario hits United States soil in its fullness, nothing small you do will change anything. Things like me just not wearing a mask won't matter. Because they'll have the right to do whatever they want to whomever they want to do it to. It's not even a matter of speaking up, Jenny. This thing requires action. This is more than speaking. Like this is literally beyond the scope of conversation at this point. They are laughing at the American populace right now. This bravado that we have saying, oh, there were 75 million of us that will vote, I will do this, and we'll do it. Let's do it. In the words of Yoda, There is no try. There's only do or not do. We're going to wait until we get to the level that Canada is? This whole shooting and the George Floyd thing, all of this is a gun confiscation effort. All of it. Remove the law on the local level and take away your guns. Now you're helpless. The only person you can depend on from that point is government, who put you there to begin with. You see the cycle they're going to throw you in? You don't need your guns. Give me your guns. Then, give us the police. You don't need them. You don't like them. Look what they're doing to black people. Remove the cops. Then when all hell breaks loose, send the government in to clean it up. Create the chaos. Present the solution. Now government shows up to clean up. We won't clean up unless you comply to do this, and this. You want to clean up, don't you? So now we got to put patrols. Why are you out of your house? You see the sequence? Do you see the sequence? They have the House, the Senate, and the White House. They're trying to take the Supreme Court. If they take all four, there is nothing stopping them from eradicating the Constitution. I'm not joking. There is nothing stopping them from getting rid of the Constitution. People just look at this George Floyd thing as this police only and black only thing. This is bigger than that. There is a reason why before this thing was over, they had multiple shootings involving multiple races. They had to push the narrative of division, one, and they had to push the narrative of removing guns, two. Once those two things have been established, once they've established the division, which they have successfully done, and once they've established the need to remove guns, which they're doing, all they have left to do is implement what they want and the government they want, which is to put their people on the beat. You'll have to need the government to step in. And once they switch all of it over, that's it. You think the military is safe? You really believe that? If they decide to take every method possible to change the Constitution to their will, they can make everyone in the military do what they want. Remember, they swear an oath to the Constitution. If that Constitution changes, no amendment is set in stone, according to Biden. If I feel like taking something away, I'm going to take it away. Okay. I'm just telling you the next step. I told you last year it would come to this. I told you they would start pushing for more control. I told you that they would start coming for all out violence in the streets. And I told you it would come down to a civil war. We're not that far off. Oh, they don't need the current military, Jenny. That's just the thing. They got plenty man bun wearing fellas that will do this. Plenty insecure people that will do this for whatever they offer them. Especially when you can't do anything back to them. They have convinced almost an entire generation of idiots that the government is for them. An entire generation of idiots. They're literally using communist methods and dictatorship methods to get what they want in this country. America, of all places, the United States of America. BLM, violence. Antifa, violence. And now Congress people, violence. Once they can convince the slow masses that the rest of us are out to kill them, they win. Because we sit back and we just say, all right, whatever. It is what it is. Was it you, Jenny, that said that you lost friends over this? Was that right that I read that you said that? Let me make sure I got the right person that said that. I want to verify that I read it correctly. Yeah, it was you. Lost a friend over this today. I have as well over this, but not just today. Two over this. Everything I said to them, though, is happening. It's happening. And those of you who have been watching me for a while know what I'm talking about. You know that it's happening. Everything I've said is now happening. Everything I told you was going to happen, that the government was going to push, is happening right now in front of us. Everything. I said the vaccine passport was coming last year. Here it comes being pushed. I told you they would start taking away simple liberties before they took everything else. There it is. And I told you they would start dictating when you can go and when you can come. Boom. Here it is. So when I tell you that civil war is coming, I am not kidding you. It is coming. And I mean that in the streets, throw down, bloodshed everywhere kind of war. Yes. Because you're going to have idiots that are going to think they have the power to tell you when you can and cannot come out your house, what you can and cannot own. They will even be able to come into your house to take what you own, including your life, in an effort, they say, to keep you healthy and safe. Make it make sense. And we're so stupid and blinded by this nonsense, temporary BS with race. Addressing everything by color and not action. Do you think I want this war to happen? No. But it's going to. It will. It will. It will be bad. It's very bad. They have succeeded in making people believe that they have the best interest of humanity at heart. They've convinced people that they have more sway than God, and they've convinced people that they should have more say over their lives than the people themselves. They believe they can run your life better than you can run your life. I don't know if you heard. We'll have a couple more things to show you here, but I'm going to try and find that other one. Hang on. This one will really grind your gears. This one, when I heard it, I thought for sure I'm hearing wrong. When you hear this, you can tell me if this lady isn't completely high. She has to be high. There is no way on earth this woman cannot be completely off her rocker, smoking the heaviest form of meth. Like literally. You can't tell me that. Here, listen carefully to what this woman says. And I want you, anybody that thinks about this pro-black, and you're this leftist cuck for the BLM movement, I want you to listen to what these people really think about black people, about dead black people. I really want you to listen to this. This is the part that it should piss you off. It should. It should. But it probably won't. Listen carefully to this.
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice, for being there to call out to your mom. How heartbreaking was that? Call out for your mom. I can't breathe. But because of you and because of thousands, millions of people around the world who came out for justice, your name will always be synonymous with justice. Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice.
She literally is thanking George Floyd for being there and dying. Thank you for being there and calling out to your mom. What? Thank you for being such a great martyr, George Floyd. Thank you so very much. Because of you, we have accomplished so much. Thank you, George Floyd, for dying. Are you insane, woman? And these fools are listening and nodding their heads like, yes, thank you, George Floyd, for dying for us. Yes, it was a public statement. Thank you for dying for us, George, for being there to be on the ground and calling out to your mom. You guys are puppets. You're tools. You're playthings to these people. You don't mean anything to these people. You mean nothing to them. And they'll keep using you as long as you stay stupid. So stay stupid. Stay stuck on stupid. They'll just keep lining their pockets with your stupidity. It's because you were there that we have this chance to say thank you. What exactly took place? You got a cop to get a 2-year, a second-degree murder charge and a third-degree murder charge, which you'll probably end up getting overturned because he's going to do an appeal because you stupid behinds couldn't keep your mouth shut and not incite a war, a race war. That's what you're proud of? You get your 5 seconds of fame in front of the camera about being so high and mighty, knowing what's coming. Maxine did that exactly on purpose. She did that. She is just a female version of Al Sharpton. And if you think it's not coming to America anytime soon, I'll leave you with this. Because we all know that great, wonderful, genius Mr. Fauci knows all. Let's hear what they know, shall we?
Vaccines, we understand, are not a panacea given crisis situation in Michigan right now, but some public health officials, including Dr. Gottlieb over the weekend, are saying that the administration probably should have surged vaccines to Michigan 2 weeks ago when the data started coming in. Can you address that? And what is the argument against doing this, as well as what specifically are you doing on monoclonal antibodies to the state? Thank you.
Great. So why don't we begin with Dr. Walensky, since I think appropriately, as we've said here repeatedly, our goal and our job is to follow what the science dictates the right approaches are.
Thanks, Andy. And
Here it
thank
comes.
you for this question, Heidi. When there are different tools that we can use for different periods of when things are when there's an outbreak. For example, we know that if vaccines go in arms today, we will not see an effect of those vaccines, depending on the vaccine, for somewhere between 2 to 6 weeks. So when you have an acute situation, extraordinary number of cases like we have in Michigan, the answer is not necessarily to give vaccine. In fact, we know that the vaccine will have a delayed response. The answer to that is to really close things down, to go back to our basics, to go back to where we were last spring, last summer, and to shut things down, to flatten the curve, to decrease contact with one another, to test to the extent that we have available, to contact trace. Sometimes you can't even do it at the capacity that you need. But really what we need to do in those situations is shut things down. I think if we tried to vaccinate our way out of what is happening in Michigan, we would be disappointed that it took so long for the vaccine to work to actually have the impact. Similarly, we need that vaccine in other places. If we vaccinate today, we will have impact in 6 weeks, and we don't know where the next place is going to be that is going to surge.
If you live in Michigan, I hope you caught what she said in its entirety. I really hope you people have a listening ear. I really do. Because if you did not catch it, I'll play it one more time, just her section. I will play her section one more time. I want you to listen to exactly what she's saying. I really want you to listen to what this idiot's saying.
And thank you for this question, Heidi. When there are different tools that we can use for different periods of when things are when there's an outbreak. For example, we know that if vaccines go in arms today, we will not see an effect of those vaccines, depending on the vaccine, for somewhere between 2 to 6 weeks. So when you have an acute situation, extraordinary number of cases like we have in Michigan, The answer is not necessarily to give vaccine. In fact, we know that the vaccine will have a delayed response. The answer to that is to really close things down, to go back to our basics, to go back to where we were last spring, last summer, and to shut things down, to flatten the curve, to decrease contact with one another, to test to the extent that we have available, to contact trace. Sometimes you can't even do it at the capacity that you need. But really what we need to do in those situations is shut things down. I think if we tried to vaccinate our way out of what is happening in Michigan, we would be disappointed that it took so long for the vaccine to work to actually have the impact. Similarly, we need that vaccine in other places. If we vaccinate today, we will have impact in 6 weeks, and we don't know where the next place is going to be that is going to surge.
Flatten the curve. And because there's such a big outbreak, we need to take the vaccines away from Michigan. Give it to somebody else. It's 6 weeks for it to show effect. If I remember correctly, Fauci said a couple of weeks. Now it's 6 weeks. What else is 6 weeks out? Just a question. What else is 6 weeks out? Anybody? Anybody know what might be close to 6 weeks away? Numbers don't lie in terms of what they say. Sometimes it's what they say that you really need to look at. What else is 6 weeks away? This was only last week, by the way, that she put this video up. I'm waiting to see if anybody drops it. No. No. There's a very big, massive thing happening in 6 weeks. Nope. I'm waiting to see if someone catches on to it. You waiting? Sentencing. His sentencing is in 6 weeks. His sentencing is in 6 weeks. You want a reason to keep people indoors? You want a reason? You want to have the perfect storm? Do you want the perfect storm? Do you want the perfect storm? 6 to 8 weeks, not 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Do you want the perfect storm? Take away the vaccine from somebody you say don't need it because it's too far gone. Okay, here's the sequencing. Here's the 6 weeks. Here's here it is. You take away their vaccine. Give it to somebody else. You're now at a week out. They take theirs. Then you find a reason to get the numbers up again. Push that one out. You're now at your 6 week point. Meanwhile, Michigan shut down. They'll come out and say, look, the numbers have dropped. You can leave your homes. The verdict comes out. And you find out that it's a bit of an issue because of the stuff that Maxine Waters and others have said. What do you have at that point? You just had people quarantined for 6-7 weeks. See the way they make this thing is it's just insane to me. They are working every single angle to frustrate people, to create this absolute cluster bomb of emotions. You now have a raging war because they didn't get what they want, because he will file an appeal. So they won't get the answer they want for sentencing. You have certain states that they want shut down for the vaccine. There's a time frame they want that extended to. More frustration. And there you have the absolute perfect storm for chaos in the streets, more bloodshed. And as soon as that happens and anyone fires off any type of thing like a Kenosha bomb with guns, Second Amendment, goodbye. Second Amendment, goodbye. They won't even get to sentencing. They will. I guarantee you they won't get to it. I'm telling you now, they won't get to it. They are literally creating right now the perfect storm to get rid of just about every bit of freedom you got. They're going to create the firestorm for violence in the street. They're going to create the firestorm for shutdowns being overwhelming on people. And then they're going to open up the floodgates for people to be frustrated. And then they're going to show, because there's a history of gun use everywhere, that we need to get rid of the Second Amendment. Once they get rid of that, we have a Canada situation. We have a Canada situation just like that. You have no more defense. What are you going to do if the military comes to say you can't leave your house? Because remember, no amendment is absolute. His words. He also said he doesn't even know if the Republican Party is going to be around at the next election cycle. They are planning to eradicate you, people. How do you not put this together? They shut you down, mentally incapacitate you because now you can't think because you're stir crazy from being inside. They remove your work, your only outlet for income and for mental depression. Okay? They take that away too. Then they take away your freedom to move. You can't go out as often as you can. You can't go get some relaxing time like you want. You can't travel like you want to. Now you have a populace who never thought of anything remotely frustrating them to the point of anger. That's all they can think about is rage. Then you instigate race wars. You start telling them this person's against you because of that person's color. Then you start using the medicine, the COVID thing. Oh, only black people should get it. Then you instigate white people to hate that. You have police shootings everywhere, and you only popularize the ones that are done by white on black. And then you take a case like George Floyd that has every single pothole in it, and you make that one the crux of your war. They have formulated this thing perfectly. You now have people who are frustrated and raged out. And you have people over here who are frustrated and raged out. And then you say, you know what we're going to do then is take the police away. Let's just take the police away. Now you have to deal with each other. Hey, look, I'm just telling you their strategy. That's all I'm doing. Telling you the strategy. If I want you to act out of emotion, I'll hype up the most dank emotion I can possibly find and just play it over and over on loop to you. If I want you to think that everybody that you encounter with pale skin is evil, I will play that on Chris Cuomo. Guns won't change. The gun laws won't change until white kids start getting killed. I will play that over and over and over and over in your head until that just builds up inside of you. Rage. Then on the other side, those who aren't involved in that chaos, I'll create my own other chaos with you. You can't go to work. You can't go to work. You can't go to work. You can't go out without a mask. You can't go anywhere without a mask. You can't even eat without a mask. I'm going to limit your freedom now. Under the guise of something emotional, you'll kill grandma. You'll kill grandma. Both sides, they're using this massive emotional conflict in you to cause you to react in a most outrageous way. And they are creating the perfect situation for the civil war to happen by saying defund police and remove police. And when the police get the idea, if y'all don't want us, we gonna just quit. We're gonna just walk out. Then they'll have a reason to shut everything down. They'll have reasons for COVID, and then they'll have reasons for violence. And you will have Canada on steroids. You will have Canada on steroids. It is a chain reaction that they will create. And all on false premises. All of it on false premises. The virus don't kill, and cops ain't killing black people like that. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. But they want you to think it. They want you to think it. It's pretty obvious. That little girl that got shot, right? They refuse to put the man's name out because it's a black man. They refuse to put his picture out because it's a black man. Because that will limit the amount of emotion that's put into the race war. They have to keep funneling the narrative that they need to keep white and black angry. And then the other side, they have to keep both the people that I want my grandmother to live and bro, this thing ain't dangerous. They have to keep them at odds. They have people threatening to beat people up because they're not wearing a mask. It's even happened. So, if you're not seeing a picture, you're gonna fall for it. If you're not watching the bigger picture, you're going to fall for it. I am not a doomsday prophesier. I am reading the writing on the wall, and I can see as plain as day what their intention is. Mostly because they've kind of just said it out loud what they want to do. They're not even hiding it anymore. They are not even hiding this stuff anymore. they don't even care. They don't care to hide it. Thank you, George Floyd, for dying. The only thing she didn't say is on the cross for our sins. That is the only thing she didn't say. She might as well have. Thank you for dying for our sins, George Floyd. Anyway, after I saw this Canada thing, it solidified in my mind exactly what the test was. It solidified what their intention was. It solidified for me how they were going to make this take place. And then how easy it was going to be for the Chinese to just slip in and be done. Good old Beijing Biden. This is the dragon. That's another topic for another day. This is the dragon. China is the dragon. China is the dragon. If you don't know what that means, look it up. I'll discuss that at another time. But just understand that China is the dragon. It's mentioned in a certain book. It is mentioned in a certain book. If you watch it, if you watch that book, and you read exactly what the dragon does, it's freaky. No, not that book, the Bible. Revelation, to be exact. The dragon. The great dragon. Telling you, the kinds of stuff that's coming our way, if you don't got the spine for it, you're going to fall for it. Driven by every wind of doctrine. He said, dude, everything, all of it links. All of it links. All of it links. All of it links. One of these days, I'll do a series on that because it is intense. When you watch what's happening now, I'm not saying the end of the world is right now or near, but you can start seeing the chess pieces get put in place for that event. And you can start identifying certain players, and you can start seeing what their end game is, because it's already told you what the end game is. You just have to start seeing what process they're in the end game. One, it'll keep you from being afraid, and two, it'll keep you mindful. So this is, there's no, Toots, unfortunately, there is no summary I can give you to this. The dragon thing, I cannot give you a summary to. There is too much to summarize. No. When I say a series, I mean like at least 6 parts. At least 6. And that's if I spoke for 2 hours, easily 6 parts. That's how much info there is there compared to what we know, what we've been handed, everything. Exactly, Chris. And they touched on it. They touched on it. Yo, look, it's some trippy stuff out there. But when you understand that it's all part of the game, the bigger game than these people think they have, it still angers you because there are people that cannot seem to get out of their own way. We won't stop the dragon. And we won't stop what's coming to America. We just won't. It's a matter of time. But we can sure stop it in our time. We can stop it in our time. We can delay. In either case, we can stand up for what's right. And that's all that we're asked to do. That is all we're asked to do. The right thing. And trust and believe me, nothing about the government right now is the right thing. We're supposed to stand up. And if we get slain in the process, we get slain. But we're not going to get slain laying down. We can't. We can't. Because when you lay down, you get to be like Samson. And it's not until you realize I'm blind, I've given up my one source of power, and you have to reach out and say, give me one more chance. You don't want to get to that point. You want to stay with that jawbone in your hand. You want to stay with that jawbone in your hand, ready, strong, and willing to go. So, please, if nothing else you take from this, keep an eye on what they're doing, because it'll also keep you in a mindset of readiness and preparedness. It will. But you cannot stay in fear. That's where they want you. That's where you can't afford to be. You can get that hat right here. We put it in the comment section. And then you want to use code . That's the code you want to use when you go to Patriot Bills and checkout. If you want a hat like this. Okay, good. Anyway, love you guys. Hope the information was informative. Hope you're taking heed to it. But they're going to be pushing this harder now. You're going to see in the next couple of days, they're going to come out on the news and talk about the Chauvin case. They're going to start telling you to prep for anarchy and people who didn't get the result they want. Now they're going to put it on you that you might be the one to lash out. Then they'll start swaying the conversation back to COVID because they got a semi-good result. But they'll still stick on it, saying that we didn't get exactly what we wanted. And that might be more reason to step out and argue and riot again. You might even have another 3 or 4 shootings, all in an effort to try and push the gun control right. You'll see them push harder for the Supreme Court packing. And before too long, they'll want to introduce measures to not just restrict what kind of guns, but to restrict guns in a whole by changing the Second Amendment. Just watch. It's coming. I don't think they're one audio. What are these? I bought them and I can't remember what they are. They're nice. That's all I know. They're comfy. They keep noise out. They're noise reduction. They're really good. I like them. $45. For $45, they better be good. So let's get out of their game and put them in ours. We ain't afraid. They ain't gonna sucker us into this. Stay steady. Keep your mind right. Think straight. All right. And remember, like I said, wisdom calls to you from the street. Find wisdom. Peace.